Excuse me. Alright. So I've taken down a few of my silly videos because I want to try and make at least this channel, because it is my name and it is me and it links to my personal website and Google Plus and LinkedIn and yada yada yada, regarding my books and me wanting to be an author and a speaker and being taken seriously. And I know, even though it isn't fair, people will prejudge and perceive my stupid videos, and that as taking away my credibility, even though it shouldn't. The reality of what I'm saying should be the only thing that you judge whether it's true, the credibility on. But I have made a couple videos from my first book, The Introduction of Self, regarding different areas of the book, perception and relativity and so on. But I'm going to continue to do that and talk a little bit about different chapters, different sections, of the book. So I've talked about perspective and how what I consider, well, what perspective is. Perspective is a filter that beings, from what we know of, at least beings and us particularly, filter information and make a determination on it. So for us, our perception is genuinely, in a practical sense, everything. Our perception is what we think, what we believe, what we fear, what we desire, what we imagine, what we dream, what we have nightmares about, what we know. It's absolutely everything. So I've sort of talked about that before. I won't, touch too much on that because they're on other videos. But I want to talk about 3 states of perception that I talk about in the book. So in the introduction of self, shameless plug, at relativelywriting.com, shameless plug number something. One of the first states of perception that I define, from being a human for 36 odd years, is called safe seeing. Now, I consider safe seeing no different than mainly subconscious seeing or automated seeing. Basically, safe seeing is all about perceiving, doing what you perceive is safest and will keep you from what you fear is uncomfortable and discomforting. So, you wake up, you go outside, and it's raining. Well, you get an umbrella, or you get out of the rain. You do what you perceive is more comforting. It's more comforting for a lot of us at most times to not get wet and not be in the rain. You go to your car and you use your car because it's perceived as safer and easier. Now, safer doesn't always necessarily mean there's a better chance that nothing bad will happen to your being, that you won't get hurt. Safer means perceived as more comfortable. We do a lot of things, a whole lot of things, that we perceive as more comforting that aren't necessarily better for us. So that's what safe seeing is all about, and it makes up a huge part of our general human existence and always has. If you think of other animals, my dog here that's barking, he barks because all he can do, this is the only state that he can live in. is see safely, or at least in a general sense from what I can judge. It seems like all these other animals can do is live in a state where they're just seeing safety. They're just seeing and going after what seems safest, barring the information that they have and the subconscious that they have that can determine it. So when he barks, it's because it's what he determines is safest based on the information. And again, safest meaning most comforting. When he lies down and he sleeps, it's safe seeing. It's most comforting. When he eats his food, it's, again, safe seeing. If he wants to fetch the ball, he's doing what he has to do. He's doing what he perceives as the most comforting thing to do, barring the information that he has. So, give me 1 second. So in a large sense, safe seeing, not just for a dog, but if you just from logically evolution, most of what we do is safe seeing as well. We have other states. We have a higher consciousness and a much more capable brain in a sense, but in general, we really are the same way. We really just go after what we sense is perceived as most comforting. So that's what safe seeing is, right now, if you just look at me who didn't plan this and look at what's around me, I'm in this apartment, I'm in this room, I have this electricity, I have this computer, I'm talking to this camera, I'm wearing this hoodie, I kept my hair instead of shaving it all off. I have my beard. I'm wearing the shirt clothes underneath. I have the bed. I have this chair. Every single thing around me, I did because I perceived it as comforting. Such a huge part of our lives is just because of safe seeing, because of seeing things as doing only what we perceive as comforting at the time. And there's a lot of, obviously this is what my books and everything is really about. And yes, now see, I'm fixing my hair automatically because to feel safe. So I will talk more about it, and there are other states, but like my books and everything are about, there's a huge negative impact to only living like this, even in a general sense, to only living for what you perceive is comforting. So I'll talk more, and I'll talk more about the other states, but that's what safe seeing is. It equates to seeing subconsciously, just perceiving what seems most comforting. In other words, that means staying away from what seems uncomfortable. And anything new seems uncomfortable to our subconscious because it doesn't know. It can only go off the information that it has. So, like I said, there's a huge negative aspect to that, which is, the huge negative aspect to everything we see in our humanity. And, it's what my books are about and what I've always talked about. But I'll talk about the other two states in another video. But that is safe seeing, so beware.